Good morning, South Vermilion and members of the community. Thank you for joining us in honoring our local veterans. Please stand while the color guard presents the colors.
Color guard salute. Color guard retreat.
If you will please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Here to begin our program is South Vermilion High School Principal, Mr. Schimmel.
Thank you. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Lotz and the National Honor Society members who have worked to put this program together. In a time of uncertainty and change, they have rose to the occasion to make sure we are still able to celebrate this special day. I've been a part of many Veterans Day programs, both as a student and as an educator. I can honestly say that it is one of my favorite experiences. I've stated many times before that one of my biggest regrets in life was not enlisting in the military. There's so much pride and honor that come with representing your country and defending the freedoms that we all enjoy. Winston Churchill once said, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." If you stop and think about those words and the truth that they represent, you can't help but feel proud and humbled by the service of so many men and women in our military. We owe them our gratitude, we owe them our freedom, and we owe them our lives. So many Americans, like myself, never enlisted nor put on that uniform. It's easy for us to take our freedom for granted. It's easy for us to dismiss what the commitment so many have made actually means. We are proud of our local veterans and the many veterans from the Wabash Valley. Because of their bravery and their selflessness, we live in the greatest country in the world. Even in the midst of our current pandemic, societal unrest, and election chaos, we can never deny that the United States of America is the best place in the world to live. That wasn't something given to us. It was something that was fought for and earned. Thank you, veterans, for your sacrifice and your service. It is because of you that we enjoy our life and liberty today. We all owe you a debt of gratitude for your service. Now at this time, will you please stand and join with me as the South Vermilion High School Band performs our national anthem.
thank you to Mr. Schimmel and the high school band. You may be seated. We celebrate this 101st Veterans Day to honor America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen who have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom, to aid our friends and allies, and to turn back aggressors. Just as they were when Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem during the War of 1812, the men and women who have served and are currently serving in the armed forces are the ones who truly make this country the land of the free and the home of the brave. November 11th was first celebrated for the armistice, or ceasefire, which ended the First World War. It went into effect at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. The next year, at the first celebration of Armistice Day, as it was then called, President Woodrow Wilson said that to us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for their victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice. Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a Canadian surgeon in World War I, saw the cost of war firsthand. While serving in Belgium, he saw the poppy flourish in Europe. Scientists attributed the growth to soils in France and Belgium becoming enriched with lime from rubble left by the war. From the dirt and mud grew a bright red poppy, which came to symbolize the blood shed during battle.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Being the most devastating war ever fought until that point, World War I was known as the war to end all wars, but peace was not to last. In the century since, members of our nation's military have played a vital role in maintaining national security in our homeland and against external threats and adversaries.
Out of a uniquely American sense of national pride and patriotism, our community, state, and nation alike have constructed memorials to remember our nation's conflicts and all those who fought in them. Clinton's own All Veterans Memorial, which is located in Walnut Grove Cemetery, is inscribed with the words, "In the memory of those who gave so much for so many." The inscription of the Universal World War II Honor Roll Memorial reads, "In appreciation of everyone from this community who served during World War II," followed by the names of over 150 veterans from Universal that served in that war. Terre Haute's Vigo County Courthouse Plaza features memorials to those who served in and those who were killed in action in the Civil War, Spanish-American War, First and Second World Wars, Korean Wars, Vietnam War, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Indianapolis Soldiers and Sailors Monument has become a symbol of Indianapolis, sitting at the center of the city and its flag. It honors those who served in the wars before its construction in 1902 and celebrates American successes with its Statue of Victory. On the National Mall, the World War II Memorial was constructed in commemoration of those 16 million who served in the most devastating war in human history. By its symmetrical design, it honors veterans of the Pacific and Atlantic theaters equally. These words are inscribed on the Korean War Memorial in Washington, D.C. Our nation honors her sons and daughters who answered the call to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. Those words apply equally to all of our country's veterans who have served in other wars as well. The Vietnam War Memorial stands to honor the courage and devotion of those who answered the call to serve in one of the most divisive wars in U.S. history, and pay tribute to the 58,000 Americans who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
We can never fully repay our debt of gratitude to America's veterans, but we shall honor them here today. Thanks to our South Vermillion students, parents, and staff, we are able to recognize the veterans in our Wildcat family.
We will present members of each branch of the armed forces individually. Members of the Army, whose mission it is to deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars by providing ready, prompt, and sustained land dominance by Army forces across the full spectrum of conflict, in the largest and most senior branch of the United States military. Members of the Navy, who project force beyond the nation's shores, capable of winning wars, deterring aggression, and maintaining freedom of the seas. Members of the Marine Corps, who make up America's expeditionary force, deploying to win our nation's battles swiftly and aggressively in times of crisis on land, sea, and air. Members of the Coast Guard, who ensure our nation's maritime safety, security, and stewardship under the United States Department of Homeland Security in peacetime and the United States Navy in times of war. Members of the Air Force, who operate the world's most technologically advanced air force to provide support for surface forces and to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. And future members of the Space Force, who will maintain, protect, and expand the U.S. fleet of advanced military satellites that form the backbone of our global military operations.
To the unique anthems of each branch of the military, we now present our honored veterans.
To all these courageous men and women, all of you watching who have sacrificed so much to serve our nation, and all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, we thank you.
We would like to also offer a tribute to the group which has not yet been mentioned, but should be just as recognized here today: American servicemen and women who have been taken prisoners of war, and those who are missing in action. This table, which is on prominent display at South Vermilion High School, is our way to remember these heroes, too often unsung.
The table before us honors the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice in America's armed forces. The table is round to show our everlasting devotion and concern for our fallen and missing comrades. The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call of duty. A single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the life and the blood that was shed. It reminds us of their loved ones and friends who kept the faith and await answers. The vase is tied with a red ribbon, a symbol of our commitment and continued determination to account for our missing. A slice of lemon on a plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in a foreign land. The salt is to remind us of tears endured by those missing and their families who still seek answers. The black napkin is a reminder of isolation, deprivation, and cruel fate of our missing. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country, founded as one nation under God. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share this day with us. The chair is empty and will remain so until they return or are accounted for. May we remember this message. You are not forgotten, so long as there is one left in whom your memory remains.
We would now like to introduce our veteran speakers, Phil and Angie Kruger. Angela Wake was raised in Clinton, Indiana, and was a 1993 graduate of SVHS. Phil Kruger was raised in Southern California and was a 1992 graduate of Redlands High School. Angie and Phil met at Brooks Air Force Base while attending post-basic technical school and were enrolled in the Air Force Aerospace Medicine program. They were married and stationed at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. They have 4 children: Hannah, Jacob, Matthew, and Nate. All of their older children are graduates of SVHS, with Nate graduating soon.
Hi, I'm Phil Kruger,
I'm Angie Kruger.
and we want to thank you for allowing us to be part of your Veterans Day program. We've been asked to share a little bit about our experience as soldiers in the United States Air Force.
And our experience is sort of unique because both Phil and I are veterans. We both served. I graduated high school here from South Vermilion in 1993. I enlisted in the Air Force shortly before my 21st birthday. I always knew that I wanted to serve. I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself. And I was excited to leave for basic a week after turning 21.
And I joined in 1996 at March Air Force Base in Riverside, California. I was a young man and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I had no direction. Growing up in Southern California, life was a little different. It was fast-paced, and it just was, I didn't know what to do. And so the military seemed like a great opportunity to help me find some direction, and it was a great opportunity, and we did find that it provided us a unique lifestyle.
And we also found each other.
Mm-hmm.
We met in tech school right after basic. Whirlwind romance, got married, and then were stationed at Scott Air Force Base in Illinois,
where we started our family, and that's it makes it kind of unique also because we began our family in the Air Force, and while we had a very young child, about 1 year old, our daughter Hannah, Angie was deployed overseas to Operation Southern Watch.
I spent our daughter's first holidays, Thanksgiving, Halloween, almost right up to Christmas, in United Arab Emirates during showdown with Iraq. So I am a Gulf War veteran. Mm-hmm. Shortly after that, when I got back, Phil deployed as Operation Northern Watch to Turkey.
And while going back to Angie's time in Southern Watch, while we lived on a base, our family wasn't unique. We were part of a military family where families were affected by deployments, and so it was not only were we part of something bigger in theater or in the mission, but even back home on base, there was a sense of camaraderie and family. And so while Angie was gone and I was home taking care of our daughter, other families stepped in and we helped each other out with childcare because we still had to work. I mean, we were all still actively serving the country, and so we were part of something bigger, not only with regards to what we were doing while we were deployed, but also back home. And it's a unique experience to be part of a military family.
And that goes to speak to the same. When Phil deployed to Operation Northern Watch in Turkey, and then again after 9/11 to Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, I had since separated from the military, had 3 little kids at home, and the support from the community, the support from the people around us was huge. The sacrifices the service member makes are hard, and the sacrifices that their family makes are just as hard as well.
And I think that's something that gets overlooked is the veteran is the person who's enlisted, but the family also is enlisted. A lot of people overlook the hardship that's brought on when the service member is sent overseas. I know, it's one thing to be deployed, but it's another to be deployed during time of war. And when I was deployed right after 9/11, the sense of security, the sense of what was going to happen was uncertain. And so I know that being overseas during that time for me was very scary and uncertain. But back home, I know that the feeling was no different. Although the world here was still carrying on, we were still worried about each other. And I do know that because Angie had experienced deployment and understood what happens when we're overseas, that it made it, I don't want to say easier, but probably more tolerable because she understood the dynamics of being a military member while deployed.
I think there's no greater honor than to serve your country. There's no greater honor than that. And I think that the lessons that we learned and the tools that we brought with us from our time in service have played out in every aspect of life since then. Leadership skills, discipline, integrity. Service is a huge one.
Communication.
Yes.
I can tell you that watching Angie do what she does with the football team, see what she does with the schools, watching everything that she does. The military has taught us both to look for opportunities and to serve. Service above self was a big creed, a big virtue in the United States Air Force, and we see that. I know that communication is another big skill that's taught, and Angie is a great communicator. In my business that I run, communication is a big factor of every day of what we do, and those are all skills and character traits that are taught in the military, and it's a life lesson, things that you take away from the military that I don't think we would have gotten. I know I wouldn't have gotten had I not joined the military, and we have been able to bring those traits that we learned in the military into our civilian life, into our family. Those core values ring true just in the raising of our children. Again, something that's priceless, and it was that opportunity was great for us.
The perspective that you gain when you are in those types of positions, when you are deployed to the middle of the desert, when you are up in a plane, when you are facing sacrifices
and
uncertainties, those perspectives change the way you look at things forever, and it changes the value that you place on different things throughout life.
Right, and we see that again, and I know I keep talking about Angie, but if you watch her, she is always looking for opportunities to make things better, and that's something that I know that we learned in the military was to learn how to find opportunities to make things better, to learn how to lead in making those opportunities better, how to follow as part of a team that's making things better, and how to give directions and follow directions. Again, traits that the military has given to us, and as veterans, I think it is a valuable lesson for any young person today.
Yes, there's value in your community. There's value in the people around you. There's value in your school. Mm-hmm. I think you have to take the initiative. You have to show the dedication and the service to those around you, because that's how we make the world a better place.
Correct. So with that being said, I think we've shared a little bit about our time in service. I would encourage it to anybody that's considering it. The military, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the experience, the life lessons is there. It's free, and it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. So
Definitely makes you a better person.
yeah. So for us, want to say thank you.
Thanks.
And have a great Veterans Day. Honor and respect your veterans and their families. They do a lot, and it's a big deal. So with that, have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you, Phil and Angie. We will conclude our Veterans Day program with the holding of the American flag. The flag is foldable in a strategic manner, and each fold is very symbolic. The portion of the flag devoted honor to the canopy blue containing the stars representing states our veterans served in uniform. The canopy blue runs from left to right and is inverted only when draped as a pall on the capacity of a veteran who has served our country honorably in uniform. Hold one. We honor the men of the coalitions and men who fought against tyranny and gave life to a new and independent nation. Hold two. We honor the men who fought for Fort Henry in the War of 1812 as they struggled to maintain independence and are forever immortalized in our star-spangled banner. Hold three. We honor the men of the Civil War that fought to preserve our union and the ideal that all men are created equal. Hold four. We honor the men who braved the trenches of the First World War, who worked to fight back the spread of oppressive government. Hold five. We honor the men of the Second World War who became victorious to challenge racism and set bring liberation. Hold six. We honor the men who set up the Korean Peninsula to contain the spread of communism and protect alliances. Hold seven. We honor the men who braved the jungles of Vietnam, who belatedly found respect with a wall of heroes to commemorate their sacrifice. Hold eight. We honor the men of the Persian Gulf War who braved the sands of the Arabian Peninsula to stop the spread of authoritarian power. Hold nine. We honor the men and women of the new generation who have fought in the extreme terrain of Iraq and Afghanistan. We honor their continued sacrifice in the hopes that equality, democracy, and peace will one day be had. Hold 10. We honor the parents, spouses, and children of those who serve. Few words to describe the commitment and honor of the military family. We thank you for the support you give to those in service. Hold 11. We honor the medics and chaplains who offered comfort and healing when suffering was too common. Hold 12. We honor the pilots who harness innovation to provide coverage from the sky, pursue the enemy, and lead the armed forces in their new technological age. Hold 13. We honor the infantrymen who climbed out of the trenches, liberated cities, and mastered urban warfare to deliver the power of the armed forces.
South Vermillion would like to honor the men and women of all branches, retired and active, living and past, for their honorable service given to a nation forever in their debt. Please rise once again while the color guard retires the colors.
We would like to say one final thank you to the servicemen and women of all branches and their military families who sacrifice so much to protect our freedoms. We would like to remind all those watching to do the same, not just on Veterans Day or a special occasion. The price of freedom is high, and we cannot afford to forget those willing to pay it.